sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. What a morning we have for you. I'd like to say special guest, but he's a real good friend, family. And so I like to call him co-host, because whenever he gives me the green light, it's all systems go. And boy, oh boy, do we have a story to start right out of the gate. So without further ado, let's bring him in. The real Vegas Dave, Mr. Dave Sharapan.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. You didn't tell me you were dressing up today. You got all cleaned up, dressed up. You look nice. It's good. You got Fenway in the back. Can you help them get a base hit while you're there, please?
Well, I'm also looking for back-end enclosers, but they did that to themselves by moving Whitlock into the starting rotation, who's starting again today. We could do a show just on that, but you know, a lot of us in these lanes did a lot of homework, a lot of research, brought in some great guest experts in the Kentucky Derby. And it takes a lot of work. It's not just run to the window, throw down some money and pray, which a lot of people do. It's, as we know, there's a lot of, I like that name. I like that name. The gray horse never loses.
Heard that one before.
I used to be a big dog guy, and so the one that took the dump before they got into the starting box was lighter weight, so therefore was going to run faster. So history was made on Saturday, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, and for you, my friend, it certainly was. So without further ado, don't hold back. Let the story begin.
So, yeah, the Kentucky Derby. By the way, you hit them all. I think you hit all of the pre-race conceived notions and things that you hear in the race book and the sports book. You hit them all, pretty much. So I don't bet the horses ever. I take in enough horse bets to know how hard of a grind it is, but I bet horses once a year when the Derby comes, because that's the time to bet it. The pools are gigantic, and I really love. I think I would bet horses more if I was any good at it. I stink at it. I'm the classic. If I bet an exacta, I get second and third, trifecta. I'll be first, third, and fourth. I just can't get to the window. I'm close all the time, but I just can't do it. But I'd like to listen to smart people and then kind of, hopefully go from there, pick up a couple hundred. That's the whole goal. So decide on, all week, have guests, talk to people, text back and forth, between, the same characters I do. You had Sean, the golf pro. I call him Shauno, the golf pro, Alvarez on the show. Frankie Fat Stacks, Frankie Tadeo. I mean, these are people that we know in our lives. They all have nicknames. Everybody has a nickname in my life. That's it. So come to Saturday morning, do a bunch of shows Saturday morning with this ridiculous Derby hat on. I was wearing the Derby hat all day on Friday. I got it over there. It still has the flower in it. Grandma helped me put it together. Little Consig helped me put it together. Said, "You're not really going to wear this." I said, "I'm going to wear it all day." All day on Friday. Wore it on MLB Network, on Sports Grid, on Bostonian versus the book, all of it. So I had the mojo working. Saturday, finished the shows. I say to Jessica, my wife, "I'm going to bet the Derby." "Well, you got to be back. We got to go to the softball game." "All right, what time are we leaving?" I forget what she said, but I had about an hour window. Now, the place is 10 minutes away, not even. But you got to think when you go to bet the Derby. I mean, I'm not going to bet win, place, and show. I got to do the exacta box. I got to do the exacta key. Then I got to do the trifecta box. Then the trifecta key. How many horses do you put in the different spots? All this other stuff. So I walk into the casino and I grab this. This is the sheet. Okay. Kentucky Derby from Station Casinos. There's all the entries. Okay. Well, I start writing on the back and I start writing out the bets. And there they are. There they are. Keep going. Oh boy, how much is this going to cost? Okay, here we go. That's the whole thing. I saved the sheet. So I sit down. I know the Warriors are going to win, so I wore the Warriors stuff to the book. Say hello to somebody. What are you doing here? I'm betting the Derby. How about you? Oh, really? Okay. Well, good. What do you like? And I start pulling a trotter from Let It Ride, asking everybody that I know, who do you like? What do you like? Well, on the experts and people that I talked to, the 6, 10, 12 kept coming up. 6, 10, 12, 6, 10, 12. 6 was Messier, 10, Zandon or Zandon, however you want to say it. And then the 12 is Taiba. So those 3 kept coming up. Everybody knows that Epicenter is the 3, and that's going to win. And the 15 and 16 kept coming up too, White Abario and Cyberknife. They were like peripherals. So I got to decide, what am I going to do? So Exacta box. I use Shauno's Exacta box, literally exactly how he said it. And when he was on the show, I don't know if you remember, did it sound like to you when he said the 3 and the 10 are going to finish second, like they're going to get beat? Did you hear the same thing I heard, JD?
Yeah, I heard the same exact thing. And then when he gave us a snapshot of his actual playbook, when being a dog guy from forever, when you are keying 2 horses or dogs to finish second, you're opening up a great window, but you're also in that needle in the haystack. You're going to go first, second, you're going to go second and third. But I heard the same thing. Yes.
Right. Okay. So I mean, and I really, when Sean says it, like when he said it like that, that's the one thing that resonated me over and over and over. Wow, somebody got to beat the chalk. Like 3 and a 10, somebody got to beat the chalk. So I come up with this master plan on this ridiculous sheet, and I invest. I get in line and I pick the youngest looking kid to go to at the window because I want to be his best customer of the day. I've been on the other side of that counter for almost 2 decades. This is a hard day. It's a hard day to work in a book because you get people come up to the window, have no idea what they want to do. They have no idea how much they want to spend. They have no idea what a bet is. Win, place, and show means nothing to them. They just want to bet the Derby, and it's a long day. So I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the easiest customer he has. So I get up to the window. As I'm waiting in line, a couple next to me comes up to me, a nice Japanese couple. Where did you get that sheet? And I point over to where the sheets are because I don't want to lose my spot in line. And they look, and there's 20 sheets over there. And I'm thinking, this is just like when I worked in a book. I got to walk these people over and get them the sheet and come back. So I say, all right, come on over here. Follow me. I walk them over. Here's the sheet. Come back. Let's sit back in line. Guy behind me thought he was getting ahead of me. He wasn't. I said, what do you want to bet? And like, my brother lives somewhere else. He sent me money to bet the Derby. I said, oh, okay. How much did he send you? 100. How many horses did he give you? 4. Really? Which horses? 3, 6, 10, 12. Oh, okay. Wow, that's ironic. Okay. I said, are you going to bet them all to win, or are you going to bet them to exact it? She's looking at me like, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, okay. I probably 25 to win on each horse. Say 25 to win on the 3, 25 to win on the 6. I said, you'll be fine. All right. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. I said, if you have any other questions, just come back over. I'm going to wait in this line because they got the next line. So I get up to the counter, make the place with a kid named Ali or Ali, A-L-I. He's exuberantly excited as I get up to the window and I have everything written down and I call the numbers in sequential order. It's little things like this. But when you go to the window and you say, I want $1 Exacta box, 1, 6, 10, 12, 15. And then you hit him with $1 Exacta wheel, 6, 10 with 1, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16. He said after that second ticket, his eyes lit up like, huh, this guy knows what he's doing. I felt so proud. I was like, yeah, trying to make this kid's day. Here we go. I run through the tickets. It's $205. Pay the guy. $205. I feel pretty good. I sit back down, look at the tickets, double check, make sure everything's good. I threw away this sheet. All right. And then I go back to the garbage can a second later. I'm like, no. keep the sheet just in case something big happens. And I'm like, okay. I look at the clock. I'm like, I'm good. I got a little bit of time. I'm going to be back. She's not going to give me any shit. We're going to be good. We're going to get to the game. I walk out to the car. I put it's windy as hell. I'm holding on to the tickets like if anything blows away, I'm going to be sick. So I get the door open, get in the car. I don't even start it. And I look down and I go, I've been so close so many years. I better go back and hit the all button on top. I have no idea what told me. No idea. Because I wrote it down to do it at the bottom. My second to last bet that I wrote down is 3, 6, 10, 12, 16, 19 with 3, 6, 10, 12, 16, 19 with all. And I did a horse calculator thing. I'm like, boy, that's an expensive ticket. I don't know if I want to do that. And then the last thing I wrote on this sheet, but I didn't do, was all 3, 6, 10, 12, 15, 3, 6, 10, 12, 15. There it is on the sheet. I said, I got to go back and hit that. It's $180. I got it on me. I got to do it just in case, because I don't want to lose with a bomb winning. It don't make no sense that I've gone this far, taken this amount of time. I'm going to spend an extra $180 on the ticket. Do it. So I walk back in. The kid that wrote my tickets was on break. The second to last customer was me. The guy behind me was his last customer, and then he was going on a break. So I come back in. Looks like he's still on a break. Well, you know me. I got to wait. I got to wait for the same kid. I'm so superstitious. The hockey guy in me mentality, the baseball guy. And I was always that way. So I wait. I see Allie come back. Boom, I'm in line. Here we go. I walk up. He's like, hey, you're back. I said, yeah, I got one more bet. And he's like, you want drink tickets? I said, no, I'm good. He said, are you sure? I said, I'm fine. Thank you. Give him the bet. He's like, it's $180 for a 50-cent try. I said, yeah. I said, I got all though. He's like, oh, okay. I don't know if he knew or cared, but he was cool. Made the bet and leave. Drive home. The chaos that goes on at this house. We're running and getting ready. I set the tickets on my nightstand along with the sheet. Gone to the softball field. Don't even think about it again. Get to the field, doubleheader. It's 96 degrees. First real hot day. Wind's howling. Glasses on. Can't see nothing. Not thinking about nothing the whole rest of the next 4 hours. Game ends at 3:38. I'll look at my phone. The race hasn't gone yet. What? They pushed it back. It's usually 3:20. Oh, it's almost 4 o'clock when it's going to run. Perfect. Run up to the press box. And you've been there. It ain't much. It's just right up the top of the stairs. And say to Drew, my buddy, who's the sports information director at College of Southern Nevada, hey, you want to watch the race? Can you put it on your laptop or are you working? You doing postgame? He's like, no. Come on, let's watch the race. Perfect. Turn it on. They're getting in the gates. Here comes 21. I go, 21? Now, I said, this guy's so far out. He just got in the race yesterday. He's got no chance. He's got no chance. And Drew says, really? He's a long shot. I'm like, no. I hope he wins, but he got no chance. Get in the gate, go, boom. You're watching the race. He's telling you, don't look at this jockey. He's holding him. He's doing this. It's fantastic. He don't even watch horse racing, and he's giving the directions. So we're having fun, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking. Like, this looks like 310. This is like, Alvarez got this. This looks good. Messier, it's 3-6-10. It's some mix are going to be 3-6-10. They come around that last corner. Messier looks like he got shot, literally, just stopped running. Just like, I'm done with this bullshit. And here goes the 310. And I said, we got this. We're going to have the exacta. We're going to have the try. Somebody hit nice something at the bottom. We're good, whatever. And at 21, Rich, it just comes out of nowhere, literally. And I mean, the announcer didn't even say his name until he was like a furlong or whatever, a length in front of the finish line. There's Rich Strike. What? And I go, what? And I slammed the desk. I was like, I think I got the try. And he goes, what are you talking about? You said that horse had no chance. I said, I hit the all button at the top. I hit the all. He's like, you what? I said, I had all. I said, all. That means everybody. So I think I got the 310 underneath. I think that's it. I think I get to try. So he's like, dude, that's going to pay a lot. And I said, yeah, I hope so. So my wife is texting me in from the parking lot, like, are you coming? Let's go. The kids are wait, like, let's go. What are you doing? So I said, Drew, thanks, man. I got to go. I'll talk to you later. And he goes, you know what the tribe pays? I said, no, do you? I said, and he goes, I think they said it said 50,000 for $1. I said, 50,000? I said, I got it for 50 cents. It's 25 dimes. I got to go pick up 25,000. Oh my God. I said, oh my, I hope I have that ticket. I really do. And I'm 99% sure I have it at this point, but there's one point of me that's going, did I really put the 310 in all of the spots underneath? Like, I can't remember because I did so many tickets. So I walk down the steps and I'm walking out, and all the kids that know me that played or they're watching their friends are like, hey, Coach Dave, what's up? What's up? I'm like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I give nobody no 2 seconds, which I never do. I always come over, say hello, talk. I'm running to the car by walking. I'm home and I'm like, hey, how you doing? See you later. Good to see you. Talk to you later. Okay. And my daughter was like, what's like, I think she even said, what's wrong with him? Like, I got to go. I get out to the car, and then I got 2 daughters, teenagers, the 8-year-old sitting there. Everybody's arguing about where to go eat. If you've ever been a family of 3 or more and trying to decide where to go eat without a plan, everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's got somewhere different to go. We go to eat after every softball game they play. We have a post-game meal. They laugh, they cry, they bitch about the umps. Whatever it is, it's what we do. So they're deciding Buffalo Wild Wings. We going for pizza? What are we doing? Does anybody want chicken and pizza? Trying to figure out something. Can't decide. And I go to Jessica. We got to go home. So me and Mama aren't going. She said, what do you mean? So we got to go home. And my oldest daughter was like, well, fine. We'll just go ourselves. I'm like, okay, go. I said, we'll meet you there or just call us. We got to go home. Why do you got to go home? I think I hit the Derby. And they're like, oh, right, Dad, whatever. See you later. Get in the car and gone. I get in the car with Jess. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, I think I hit the try. I think I hit the try. She's like, what does that mean? I said, I think it paid a lot too because it was a big long shot at the top. She goes, so you had it? I said, I hit the all button. She goes, you keep saying that. What does that mean? I said, I have all of the horses. ALL. That means I have them all. So it doesn't matter. I said, I think we got it. She's like, well, what does it pay? And I said, Drew said it paid 50,000 for $1. So I think we got it for 25. She's like, 25,000? I said, yeah, I'm buying the kids a car on Monday. I'm going to the car dealership and buying the kids a car on Monday, if that's the case. So she looks it up right away. She goes, you're not buying a car. Looks it up, gets the payout. It's 15,000, not 50,000. So for $1 try, you get 1.5, not 5.0. Okay. So 7,500. I mean, that's still a big score. Let's go. Come on, get driving. So I'm in the passenger seat and she's driving home. She usually drives like Mario Andretti. She's driving like driving Miss Daisy. We're just driving on the freeway like this. I'm in the passenger seat going, let's go, get home. What's wrong? The ticket will cash whether we get there in now or in 15 minutes. I'm like, oh. Run in the house when we get home. The car's not even in park. I jump out of the van, run upstairs, go through all the tickets. Of course, it's the last one because it's the last one I made. Hold it up, and I start screaming, we got it! We got it! She's yelling upstairs, what happened? Do you have it? And I'm like, yes. You know, she's nothing but sarcasm. Drips of sarcasm every day, but that's why I love her. So I said, let's go. We got to go to the casino. She goes, I'm tired. I want to take a nap. I said, can we go pick up the money, please? She's like, just sit and watch the Penguin game. I'm gonna close my eyes for a couple of minutes and then we'll go. Oh, okay. Sit there watching the Penguin game, smiling, laughing, pacing. Texted Peralt. Let the boys know you're not going to believe this. I had to try. What? Yeah, here's the ticket. How much does that pay? I think 7,400 and change. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Penguins win. I'm poking her. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. She's like, give me a couple more minutes, please. I said, listen, I'm going myself to cash this ticket at the casino, or you're coming with me. You pick. She jumped up. She goes, there's no way you're going to that casino cashing that ticket by yourself. You know her. She goes, you ain't going by yourself. Let's go. Because you know what's going to happen. I'm going to wander over. I'm going to play craps. I might play blackjack, because you got a little BR. So you're going to go do some other stuff. We walk in. There's one window open. You got to wait in line a little bit. All the horse people are on break or gone home. One sports guy. I don't know if he's the closer or not, but he's working. Now, there's one game left. There's one basketball game left and one baseball game left Saturday, but there ain't much. But I'm like, geez, Jess, they only got one window open. Maybe we should wait. She goes, we're not waiting. I said, but we may tie up the window. I don't know if this is going to go in and it's going to get paperwork or whatever. She's like, we're cashing the ticket now. I said, okay. So we go up and we hand this guy a ticket and said, here, I'm cashing this. And he looks at it. He goes, oh, 50-cent try. He goes, you hit the try in the Derby today? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So he's like, nice. Doesn't think anything of it, puts it in, and it comes up for approval or something. And he's like, okay, hits his key, enter, pops up, pay $74.35.35. He's like, what? A 50-cent try paid this? And I'm laughing, I'm smiling. And he's like, all right, hold on. I got to run it through the counter. I'm like, oh, yeah, do that, please. So he walks away and like Jess leans over and goes, he's new, huh? I'm like, oh, yeah. He has no idea what the 50-cent try. He didn't even lucky he knew the Derby ran today. He had no idea. So comes back over, counts it out all on the counter. He goes, you want a rubber band or an envelope? I said, both actually would be great. He said, here you go. Put the money in the envelope. I'll leave him a tip. Out the door. She's like, let's go. Boom. So we go. And so we cash a ticket. She goes, what do you want to do? I said, why don't we go up to the Suncoast and see her mom and stepdad, or my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They bowl every Saturday night at the Suncoast. They're in a bowling league. And then they go downstairs and gamble, and then they come home. So I said, let's go, because we used to bowl with them. We used to be a team, me and Jess and Deb and Bob. And I said, let's go up there, tell her Happy Mother's Day, because she helped me with that ridiculous hat. She helped me put the flower in. Let's give them a little gambling money. So we walk in. They finished their last game. They're in last place, JD. Her average is like 106. He's holding true at like he's 74. I think he's carrying like a 179 or 183 or something. So he can still bowl, but he says, hey, what are you guys doing here? He's like, next week is position round. It doesn't help us because we've secured last place for months. So I'm like, well, hey, I just came up to say hello and tell you Happy Mother's Day. And I hit the trifecta. Here you go. And I give them each some money. Say, go have fun gambling. So it was awesome. They were like, wow. And they looked at Jessica like, was it good? She's like, yeah, it was good. And awesome. See you later. The kids come up with all their friends. They want to go cosmic bowling. I buy all their games, all their shoes, all their things. I said, you got each 3 games or 4 games. I forget whatever she told me to buy. I said, here you go. Set them up. And then her and I went and sat and had a nice dinner downstairs. It was late. Listened to a guy playing acoustic guitar. Was phenomenal. I had 2 glasses of wine. Not 1, 2. It was late. And it was a long day. I was out in the sun. So 2 glasses of wine. I thought, it really might be a really good day. Went home. We both passed out just like that and went to sleep. And I slept until 11 o'clock on Sunday. And that was it. It was a hell of a day. I mean, the quote that kept coming to mind was let it ride. I'm having a very good day. I mean, I don't, to this moment, know what told me to hit the all button on top, but I did. And then when it comes in, it's the longest shot in the history of the Kentucky Derby. And I got a ticket to cash. I mean, it's just great. The story is forever. The money is going to be gone and who knows how long. But the story is forever. Right. Snap of a finger. I hope it's not that fast, JD, but come on.
Well, the used car market's pretty tough right now.
Oh, my goodness. Terrible. Terrible.
And the man upstairs gave you just enough to get him into a safe, comfortable car. You might have a little left over to fill you and the wife's tanks, and you go out for a dinner, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing about all this, right? Like, and we know this. You can be on a really, heater, winning. You can go on a really bad streak and lose it just like that. It comes and goes, man. It's ebbs and flows and all this stuff. But this is what this business is about, these stories and sharing it and all this other stuff. That's what I think. I mean, at least the content business, people posting their records, and listen, man, that's awesome. I hope you win every day. You can't, but I hope you do. And when you're losing every day, make sure you tell everybody too. And if you're really, really good at this, you should probably just do this. Oh, you can't. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I can't wait. Alvarez said it best. He's like, how many people do you think are going to ask you what you like for the Preakness? I said, oh, please. I don't even want to think about that, because all I'm going to do is tell them to call you. I didn't know nothing. Nobody knows shit. I mean, I just listened and did all this stuff. And then, I took the handicapping out of it by hitting the all button, right? You know that at the dog track. I don't want to have to try to pick 3 horses. I just know that these 2 are going to be close. I don't know which spots. Here's all 3, 6, 10, 12, 3, 6, 10, 12. Thanks. See you later. And maybe you put all in the second spot too. Spend some money. Put all in the third. I've seen horse guys put all in all 3 spots with their key horses. That's really the way to do it. That just would have been an expensive proposition on Saturday.
And we talked for about an hour and 20 minutes yesterday, and there's a million war stories. You've been in the business for decades, and there's not a story you or I haven't lived or haven't heard, especially when it comes to horses. And we talked about if it came back 3-10, if it came back 10-3, it would have been like a bingo parlor and an echo chamber, because the whole world, those were the common horses.
Yep.
But what you said to me yesterday that really, really stands out is, after you got into the car and you spent a couple $100, you said to yourself, I want to be guaranteed at least the winner.
Right.
Think about that. You did all the plays, what the experts said, and you felt comfortable with it, but you still weren't guaranteed the winner. We thought we had the winner with 5 or 6 horses. There were 20 horses, and one that shouldn't have been in there because he was just added on Friday as a, hey guys, yeah, we'll take your entry fee right now. Just move on over to the 21 spot. Don't worry about it. You'll have a great weekend. We'll get some good snapshots, and it's good to talk about, and you got back up to the window, and you guaranteed yourself the winner. And after that, it's anyone's business. And that's the glory of horse racing, dog racing. And I always talk about that all button, okay? Because most people would have taken the 5 or 6 that everyone was talking about, put them up on top, hit the all button in the second, put them back for third. Then they would have put the common horses first and second, and then the all button, because that's where they were going to get the big ticket. The novice is not going to hit the all button up top and then come back with that. And you got the Grand Slam, my brother.
Yeah, it's just weird. I wish I could explain it. I mean, I've talked to you, off the air about a lot of stuff and a lot of things. And I mean, I know somebody tapped me on that shoulder and said, go back and do it with the all button on top. Because it just hit me out of nowhere. Because I just said, how many times have I seen in the book, have I done it myself, where I've had the race nailed, handicapped, perfect, and then something happens. It's just like a sports bet. When you have it nailed perfectly, like Dallas and Calgary on Saturday night, it's an under game. It's a dead under. And then an empty netter goes in with 1 seconds left. You've had it perfect. 59 minutes, 59 seconds, 1/10 of a second. It goes in and the game goes over 5.5. What can you do? Well, I didn't want that heartbreak story. If I was going to lose, I was going to lose, but I wasn't going to lose that way. So I said all on top. That way, in case a 30-1 bomb wins, I have it. And if I don't have second and third, that'll be a fun bad beat story. But at least I would have had it. So now you get the second and you get the third. And it's funny. The first question I get asked is, do you wish you did it for $1? No, I don't, because it would have cost $3.60 and I really would have been sweating it, just that ticket. And then if it would have lost, I would have probably had to hear about it. And I didn't want to hear nothing about it. So, no. And then, well, you could have done the super. Yeah. The super with the all button on top and those horses, that cost $1,020. I already calculated it out. I didn't have a dime to blow on the super.
And my buddy, the syndicate that I'm involved in, we have a friend, Scott Koken, that lives in LA, lives in Vegas, season ticket holder to the Knights. And 2 derbies ago, I think it was, he popped from the syndicate plays the super high five. And this is what my buddy Kenny's always talking about. And the super high five for the derby paid $700,000.
Wow. That's good. I mean, more
But
power
more
to
than
them, but you got to have money to spend.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
the money that it costs, Dave, to and here's the bad beat of all bad beats, sir, is if Epicenter holds on and the 21 runs second, we're not talking about this.
Not even close. Not even close. And go, oh, man, you believe that? I had the 3 and the 10, but I didn't have the 21. I wouldn't have picked the 21 5 seconds before the race. When it came out on the ticket, it looked, I said something to Jessica. I'm like, I've never seen 21 on a ticket before. Like, because it says 1-19, 21. I texted you the pictures. You can look at it. And I was like, this is so strange. But okay, and there was almost no thought about it. And that's the other thing. You can do all the work. You can do all the handicap and this and that. Sometimes you just got to make the bet and live with the result. I got lucky. I'm thankful, beyond thankful, but I'm more happy that I got the story, that I got to share it with the kids. I got one day. I mean, we got the Monday and it was like, yeah, so what? What are you doing today? Like, what do you like today? What do I like today? Geez, that was Saturday. Who cares about the race anymore? I mean, I just tell you, the kids give it to you. They humble you really fast. And the same thing in the book. Just another day. What do you got? I got Sixers. Okay, there you go. All right, boom.
And a shout out to Sean Alvarez. He graced us on Friday. Also, I know he was on you guys' show. We're definitely going to have him on next week for the Preakness as well. Sean, you
wait a second. How many weeks between races, JD? It's that fast?
The Preakness is in 2 weeks, and then they have the extra week for the Belmont. So then that one's usually 3 weeks. I could be wrong, but that's usually how it goes. Not this Saturday. Next Saturday's the Preakness, I think, and then 3 weeks later is the Belmont.
Wow, we're gonna have to check on that. I mean, that's enough horse racing for me. That's a lot. How's it now? I'll ask you this from someone who's been around this and done all this stuff, because I've been thinking about, like, Sunday, I loved the Lightning. Loved the Lightning in Game 4. They bounced back from a loss in the playoffs under Vasilevsky. It's 15-0 now.
17-0 now.
Yeah, it's so I loved them, and I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to bet 100 on them? And what? I just hit the try at the Derby. Like, how do I live up to that one again? Because it's tough. Like I mean, you can't. That's the home run of home runs. Like, I'm good now for a while.
What you are supposed to do is what we've talked about now for a year, is you're supposed to take that monies. When I was back in my heyday, way back, I was a fixture at the Raynham Taunton dog track. And this is when the dogs were big, late 80s, 90s. I mean, Raynham did $500,000 handle on the Saturday matinee and $500,000 handle at Saturday night. I mean,
Jeez.
it was a night out. And the groups there, the professionals, when they made a score, they would go out and buy something. They would have something physically to hold on to, so they didn't piss it all away, so they
Right.
could go back when the going got tough. All right, I got to turn this back in. So my take on this, Dave, is simple. That was the man upstairs to say, Dave, you got your window to get that used car. There's going to be a lot of headaches now, not on your shoulders anymore, and you'll still have just a little to dabble on the playoffs.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, because like I've been thinking about that, and I keep getting the hats, and I got a nice collection of hats. I got a couple new shirts. I mean, this is the Sixers one, classic throwback, all this stuff. But I don't know, like, if I'm supposed to get something like that or not, because I enjoy driving Jessica to work, my wife, because she slams the door in my face, and then we get to listen to music and talk to each other. We got an anniversary coming up at the end of the month. Trying to come up with an idea. This is good because she don't listen to the show. So if anybody has any suggestions on what I can get her, we're coming up on 20 years. I think it's 19. This is your number 19. Officially married. So yeah, man, I don't know. But I know that, like, looking at the games and stuff, I'm like, man, making it just a small wager here and there. That's the fun of it for me. It's the wagering is still fun for me. I love to go play a game in game, or do something like that. Like yesterday, Memphis was really good, plus the points. But as far as like making a score or getting a payout or something, I'm like, man, I mean, I finished one spot out of the payout in the Westgate contest. I finished right there, didn't get paid. Like, more things are coming. That's what I keep telling you. So I don't know what's next, but that was fun. That was definitely fun.
Where to transition? I'm going to go with your Sixers here. NBA, it was funny. First round, Dave, no game sevens. The way these series are shaping up, other than the Golden State and Memphis, which again, I don't know if Ja will be back for game five. It didn't matter. They covered. That's all that matters. I mean, Golden State wins. They go to a 3-1 advantage in that series. Celtics bounce back. 2-2. We're sitting with plus 130 in the series. We took the Celtics after their loss in game one. Your Sixers, Embiid is back. Hold serve now 2-2. Only Miami's a 3-point favorite, which again, they were 6, 7, and 8 without Embiid. And I'm missing. Suns and Dallas, which again, the whole world knows Suns are going to go back and they're going to demolish them tonight. That's not even a question. Then they're going to go back. Dallas is going to solve the riddle, hold serve, and then there's going to be a game seven. We all know that.
Yep.
And Brady Tinker, our friend in Dallas, is probably saying, Jeff, Dallas is winning the next two, which he came on to our show and told us when they played Utah. So why don't you give us a reset on where we are in the series and what Dave Sharapan sees from today's numbers, from the adjusted series prices? What are you feeling?
I think Philly's super live. I mean, the line's moving right now while we're talking. It's popping down to 2.5. I mean, I think I'm a little biased because we play it at song every week, me and Newbie and Carl on the Cash Consideration show, and I love Joel Embiid and what he's doing and just the whole spirit of the team. I want to see him win. I thought they were live before the series. With him, without him, I thought they were done. They weren't going to win a game. If Joel Embiid did not play, they weren't going to win a game. But now that he's playing and he's somewhat able to play, Harden stepping up, that they can win a series. So I'm leaning Philly there. I don't think either one of those teams is beating the winner of the Celtics and Bucks. Like, that is some basketball, playoff basketball. There's a lot of John. It's physical. That is old school stuff right there.
Okay, I want to interject because it was comical. We at the start of the year, we bring in a new coach. We owed Brad 4 years. So we're like, Brad, your ass is going upstairs. Danny starts stepping. Danny was all set to go to Utah anyways, and the owners weren't going to let Brad A coach or anyone else, and B they still were on the hook for 20+ million. So no, you look good upstairs, and we made some moves, and everyone laughed. We bring Big Al back, and
Oh,
that was one for the ages. When Giannis dunked on him and kind of stuck the chest out, and
and he did the nod.
and if you look at Al's wife, he goes, "Oh my God, I've seen that nod before. Look out, look out!" And and oh my God, I mean that fourth quarter performance won't be duplicated. But I want to ask you this question because I hate people that bitch, whine, yell, scream, complain about the refs. I just despise it because every 2 seconds in the NBA, someone's bitching, whining, yelling, screaming. It's the refs. It's the refs. Oh, Foster's here. It's a loss. Before the game even starts and as the game's going on, these are human beings. There's going to be good calls and bad calls.
Yeah.
Dave, you know what really pisses me off the most?
Huh.
If Giannis was on your team or anyone else's team, they'd be sitting there applauding every call, every call. But since he's not on the Celtics, it's against the Celtics. What a bad call. I mean, am I looking at this wrong, or is this just because people get action on the game? They're defending their home teams. It's just disgusting.
This is sports betting content right now. This is you sat there with people not just in the book, but just wherever you're watching the games, and they're complaining about the refs. And I probably used to do it, but I mean, I never really did it outwardly. I've learned so much coaching my daughters, and I mean, I learned a lot playing sports. Don't get me wrong, and now with the benefit of all of that experience coaching my daughters, we have bad umps every day. And these guys are making $20 a game, $30 a game if they're lucky. Sometimes at these big tournaments, it's $50 a game. They're trying, but they stink at it. They're just not good at it. Like that guy just will not get in position to make the call when there's a play at second base. I know this. So I tell the kids because they'll complain. This ump doesn't do this. This ump strike zone is this. Stop talking about the umps and play the game. You can't control the umps. Stop complaining about it. Same thing with the betting. You can't control the officials in a basketball game. I've had this discussion both on the show and off the shows. What is the hardest sport to officiate? I think it's basketball. I mean, once you get in a position to call a strike, you're watching a ball come in at 97. I mean, it's like a blink of an eye. It's hard to call balls and strikes. But otherwise, standing in position, it's safe or out, fair or foul. It's not bad. Football, depending on where you're at on the field, it can be tough, and they're moving very fast, but you have a specific 3 guys you're watching on the field. Everybody has their own thing. The NHL guys, I mean, sometimes they call penalties, sometimes they don't, but now there's 2 of them, and they skate half the ice. Okay. Basketball officiating is the hardest sport to officiate. There's going to be bad calls. You can't do anything about it. So you're right. I mean, you got to let it go and accept the fact that you can't control it when you make your wagers. So you can bitch about it or either not bet it, but not complaining about it is useless. It's a futile exercise. And to me, it's not lazy. It's just boring. I'd rather, I mean, yeah, it's a bad call. Okay. I mean, it's a shame sometimes that those calls will decide games or definitely decide bet outcomes. You can't do anything about it anyway. As far as the Celtics and the Bucks, I do think it's going 7. I do think the Celtics win. You see the line for game 6, or game 5, it's 5.5. It's the highest line of the series.
And Dave, you're a smart man. And our friend Julian Edlow, who will be on tomorrow at 10 a.m.,
Nice.
posted that as soon as he saw that. Why is it 5.5, Dave? Tell the world why it's 5.5.
Because the Celtics are going to win. They're trying to get some Bucks money right now. You got to put a number up. You got to put a number up to get the Bucks money. All right. If you put up 4, you're getting nothing but Celtics. You have to. I mean, not surprised, but like 6 was the first thing. which is what the Phoenix Suns are tonight in Dallas. They still didn't get the Dallas money tonight, despite Dallas winning the 2 games at home. It's moving up to 6.5 in places, down to 5.5. Oh no, 6, solid 6 everywhere, and 6.5 offshore. So that tells you something there. Watch Phoenix win tonight. Now, whether they cover, it could come down to a basket or 2. I don't know. But Phoenix is winning. And like you already laid it out, Dallas will probably win game 6. And then we'll have everything decided in a game 7. I mean, one game. You play all these games, you make all these bets, all this stuff comes down to one game. I mean, that's the playoffs, right? The NBA has been – I've had so much fun this season following it, watching it, trying to bet it. Mostly, I've said this on all the platforms and shows that I'm on. You don't have to bet this pregame. You really don't. It's hard to bet it pregame. I bet a lot of stuff in game. But if you see a number that you like, you better grab it because you'll be able to either work off it or get a better price in game.
Over to the frozen pond. And you know what? First and foremost, I vented a little the last few days, and I'm going to stick my chest out like this because I talked about the Carolina Bruins series and the fact that you guys in Vegas basically opened up the Bruins minus 110 before that series started, and it closed, let's say, Carolina minus 115. The Hurricanes 3-0 versus the Bruins regular season, outscored them 16-1. And of course, after Carolina wins the first 2 games, which means in my terms, they held serve. And I know it's more of a basketball term where a series doesn't start till a road team wins, because in hockey, it's not supposedly as big as advantage, home ice versus home court, but that's for another day. Right. And all the locals, big names, big platforms, check marks, series over, series over, series over.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm the one standing there that after game 1, we went back in with the Bruins plus 170 before game 2. And I sat there and I says, they'll win game 3. They'll win game 4. Now, I'm on my way to stores for game 4, and my phone's blowing up. Hey, did you know Charlie McAvoy's out? I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. COVID. Well, obviously that doesn't bode well, right? Carolina bounced back, no McAvoy. We're weak on the defensive line anyways.
Right.
Bruins down 1-0, tie it up. Bruins down 2-1, tie it up, and then have a strong third period. And I keep putting on my timelines, it's imperative you win the last 2 minutes of the period and you win the first 2 minutes. So many times.
It's more imperative than ever now. Oh, the momentum swings from those last 2 minutes in the period is crazy.
So what are your eyes seeing? I just want to throw this out. We had the Pens. Pens opened up minus 130, by the way, for that series. It got bet all the way down to Rangers favored before that series. We got the Pens at like minus 110 or 12 for that series. Tried to get cute yesterday. We had a free swing. I thought Rangers again favored last night, and the Pens put up another touchdown, back-to-back touchdowns. Obviously, regular season goalie doesn't equate till postseason goalie or playoffs. But give me your take where all the series are now in the NHL, Dave.
I can't believe how much the NHL's changed just in a short amount of time, JD. Like these playoffs used to be take the goal and a half, watch the games go under, and 1-goal games were, overtimes, and 1-goal games were the norm, not the exception. And now every game but 2 has been decided by 2 goals or more. You can lay the puck line with freedom, with confidence, which you could never do before in the NHL playoffs. I mean, never. It's been a long, long time since the league and the games have been played like this. I'm an under guy. It hasn't been good for me so far in these playoffs because you cannot bet under in the NHL. They're pulling the goalie down a goal with 5 minutes to go. You see not 1 empty netter, but 2. It used to be, you used to feel shame. Like the guy said in Slapshot, you get a penalty, you go to penalty box, you feel shame. You used to feel shame when you lost by 2. Now you can lose by 3. You can lose by 4. They don't put the goalie back in the net. They go empty net again after an empty net goal scored. So the games are flying over. That series, Boston, Carolina, just it's electric. Like the electricity in the building. You've been in those buildings. I've been in those buildings. I almost drove to LA on Sunday on Mother's Day after cashing that ticket just to go to an NHL playoff game because there's no NHL playoff games here in Vegas, by the way. They didn't make the playoffs. So you got the Boston Carolina series is just perfect. Home team wins both games. It's end of story. Oh, the Bruins can't win. The Bruins go and give it to them pretty good in game 3. Win game 4. We got a series. Carolina's minus 150. Minus 150 in game 5. Wow. Seems high to me, but what do I know? Nobody knows shit. The Kings are playing Edmonton tonight. You've had a couple blowouts in that series, and you've had a couple wins by the Kings. I mean, the Kings got nasty, physical. That was an old school hockey game Sunday night to tie the series 2-2. Over $2? I don't see it. It seems crazy to me that one of these teams is minus $2 or more over the other one. But I mean, again, now we're back to the point. All these series are tied 2-2. They're all tied 2-2. All 4 games tonight. St. Louis, Minnesota, 2-2. Minnesota's minus 150. That seems fair. I would even make it a little bit lower, probably minus 130. Take my shot with Minnesota, but that's what bad guys are doing. I think they're betting the Wild here. I like them tonight. I'm leaning over there. And at Boston, Carolina, I mean, literally a coin flip. I'd rather just watch that game. I don't want to get involved in that game because I don't know. Because I think the Bruins are live. I think they could go win. Why not? Who's playing goal? Is Swayman playing goal?
I think they're going to stick to Swayman. I don't think there has been a confirmation yet. My gut says Swayman, and McAvoy did not travel, by the way. They're hoping with the COVID, I think he'll be ready for game 6. I don't think there's been a confirmation, Dave, yet. My gut would have to say Swayman. He won the last 2. That would be my gut.
Okay. Well, I hope it's Swayman. I hope there's a goalie hug after the game. The CH pointed out the goalie hug thing to me. I can't get enough of the little quirky things that the hockey teams do become just like the baseball things. You're together so much and you go through these battles, you come up with these little things because we do it with the kids. Everybody got their own handshake and all this stuff. It's so much fun. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be giving you a nice big goalie hug after the game. That'll be fun.
There's nothing better than after a hard fought series, as they get in line for the handshake and it just kind of sit back, some of these wars and these guys hate and despise each other, but to be able to regroup and then to get in that line, look a man right in the eyes and say good series and just to walk off, maybe go grab a beer or 2 with them and talk about the next series. I mean, that is just, it's priceless.
It's such a cool thing. And I mean, I started playing when I was 4. So I don't know anything different. That's just the hockey kind of culture mentality. I don't know. And I've been on the losing end of that. I've been on the winning end of that. And now, growing up and watching all the games and seeing that for a long time, the Penguins were the ones shaking hands, saying good luck to the team that was going to go on and play. And then they went through that run. Man, I was there every game when they won the cup the first 2 times. I was driving home from Penn State 3 hours just to go to a game, eat dinner with my parents, and go back. I mean, say hi to my brothers and sisters and drive back because I couldn't miss the game. And that's the thing I think we talk about all the time, all this content space and all this stuff. You got to love the game. You could talk about the betting and you can make bets and it definitely adds to it. But you better love the game because all of this stuff, that's what it's about. It's about the game.
I'm going to get cute right here, and I'm not trying to be a Marty the Mush or a jinx here, but I'm going to put the cart before the horse. Who would you rather face, the Bruins or Carolina?
I mean, for content, it's got to be Penguins Bruins, does it not? I mean, what are we talking about here? We could go back to the Cam Neely and the all Samuelson battles and all that stuff. Randy Burridge. I remember him. It's like I remember the lineups like it was yesterday. I want to see Penguins Bruins just for content because I think either team, it's a spectacular story. They're both got good colors. I mean, it would be just a black and gold splash every day. I'd have to find some beast, something. Bostonian versus the Book. Can you imagine? Every day we're going to yell at each other and talk about this stuff for the show. Me and you, all the Boston ties. Shit, man. I may have to use a little bit of that money and go to a game. I mean, who knows? But not that Carolina can't do it, but selfishly, that's what I'm rooting for.
And you talked about the pull the goalies with 5 minutes to go. I could hear our buddy Rob, Mr. B2B, and actually he put it on his timeline as they pulled their goalie, and I thought they pulled it real early, and they were only down 1 goal, and literally the puck missed the empty net by a hair. I mean, like the quarter of an inch. And 30 seconds later, it's tied. Of course, you know they're going to win in overtime. Now, not only did you get the favorite or the second favorite was within a whisker of being down 3-1, is now 2-2 coming back home, and it's got to feel like, okay, guys, we got it from here.
Yeah, it's. You know how close that is, right? Like in how much that margin swings if that goes in that net and it's 3-1 and the daunting task that, but I said it yesterday on a show and I really believe it. If Florida would have lost, they were the team that could win 3 in a row against Washington. They're that good offensively. These goalie questions are being answered. I mean, that was a pretty good game he played yesterday. I mean, that was that they're. But the goalie position, that's the other thing. My takeaway from these playoffs is that the goalie position not becoming the running back position in the NFL, but the ability to just put the other guy in. I mean, what happened in Pittsburgh going into the series, I didn't think they would beat the Rangers because I didn't think they had a goalie. I didn't think they had anybody that was going to make enough saves to keep them in games. DeSmith gets hurt in the second overtime, and they go to Louis Domingue. Louis Domingue. And he comes in and makes the saves, wins the games in triple overtime, and does that interview afterward. I can't stop saying not the best because he said he had spicy pork and broccoli in between periods. And she said, how was it? He said, not the best, and walked off. And it was so well delivered. The French-Canadian accent kills me to this day. I absolutely love it. I'm going to learn how to speak French just to use the words every once in a while with my accent. And now the Penguins have a goalie. And they're making Igor, they're chanting Igor at the games to get him out of the game and get him off his head. I remember being in that building the first time they got past the Rangers in forever. We chanted 1940 for 2 periods. We started halfway through the second. The Penguins were leading the game like 3-0. We chanted it every pause of play just to keep it raining down on them. And everybody was letting all those years of losing out. That's what these playoffs are about. It's fantastic.
The scroll has been going. Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consigliere at the Cash Consideration Show.
We hit the 60-minute mark just now. Wow, that was fast.
Bostonian versus the Book. Dave, the stage is yours. Tell them where they can find all your work, please.
So, I mean, on the social media, on the Twitter, it's at SportsBKConsig for Sportsbook Consigliere. I'm not changing it. I'm still not changing it, no matter what anybody tells me what to do. Every day, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock East, I'm on with Matt Peralt on Bostonian versus the Book. We got about a 90-minute show where we talk about the games, we talk about this, we talk about that. MLB Network right now as an analyst of, I don't know what the actual role is, but it's once or twice a week, either on the network or online, but on MLB.com. Different shows, the Bettor's Eye, the pregame spread. I can't remember all of them. And then every night, Sports Grid and Sirius XM Radio 159, Sports Grid TV from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern, in-game live. They call it in-game all access. Basically, it's watching the games and talking about the numbers that you see right there. And then everything personal. Cash Considerations Show, Dan Newbert, Carl Haskell, myself. We do that every week. That's available at Cash Considerations Podcast. Shows just like this. You've been on it. We're going to have you on coming up here. Obviously, I was trying to keep it in my pocket, but if it's Bruins Penguins, you know who the guest is. You're coming on, and I'm going to let you and CH, ham it up about the Bruins and tell me how much the Bruins are going to beat the Penguins and all that other shit. But we'll have fun with that. And then me and Brad, I'll do 8 in the Box, which again, right now, it's both audio and video. You can get it on the Cash Considerations Podcast YouTube channel. But Brad Howe's my brother too. Basically, he's doing tremendous work every day in West Virginia on the air, both on the radio and TV. And him and I co-host a show called 8 in the Box, where we do this basically once a week. It's available wherever you get podcasts. It's pretty much it, JD. I mean, I don't know. The guys from Hammered Down and all that stuff are calling, and we're going to get back on there. All these other appearances. I'm not going to lie. I had a really fun experience on Sunday. I went to pick up a couple hats and see the kid about some other things, about maybe doing some BVB hats or something. And I go in a store and this kid's staring at me. And I said, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he goes, "I think I recognize you. Were you on Hammered Down? Are you the consig?" And I just started laughing. I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm Dave. Nice to meet you. What's your name?" He said, "Joe." I said, "Joe, where are you from originally?" He said, "Dana Point." I said, "You live in Vegas now?" He said, "Yeah, I just moved here." I said, "Okay, well, I'm going to go on a couple shows. I'll shout you out." So there's Joe. Joe from Dana Point. There's your shout out on the ECSI show, Breakfast Bankroll with Jeff Dawson. It's unbelievable. We're having fun, JD. On top of doing all the work, we're having fun doing it. So thanks for having me today. I love you, brother. And, we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough. And it's the funny thing is we're going to wrap it up here with an hour and 5 minutes show today. We didn't even get to talk MLB.
Right?
Hilarious last night. All the dogs. I mean, can you imagine having a White Sox ticket up 8-2 going into the ninth?
Oh, did you see Naylor come in that dugout throwing his helmet? Like, that's a football guy. That's a hockey guy. Like, what was he doing? But man, the baseball last night, the Pirates beat the Dodgers for the first time, I think, in a decade in Pittsburgh. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, baseball's getting in that treacherous point, right? April, everybody had it figured out. Just bet unders, just bet first 5 unders, your fees, their fees. Oh, it's all easy. This is when it gets hard because now teams are winning when they're not supposed to, losing when they're not supposed to. Baseball's a little treacherous. I'd like to focus a little bit on the playoffs. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the NFL schedule release is Thursday. Don't forget that.
And we had Mr. Benson on last week, and he said he's going to come back on once the schedule has been released.
Yep.
Because then the Circle will be announcing their contest.
Exactly.
And we will have to ask Derek Stevens, what's the guarantee? And
yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Maybe you're in the next commercial, Dave.
Maybe. I'll let you know first. You'll be one of the first people to know. Don't worry.
From Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consig, at Cash Consideration Show, and at the Bostonian versus the Book, where you can just flip this over very, very soon and catch him and Matt live 5 days a week. Matt from Boston and takes the flying leap out west, hasn't left, and a great guy. And obviously, Dave, we can't thank you enough for coming on, and we'll wait for your next appearance. And tell B. Howe, by the way, he's got a great stiff arm. He should be looking into the NFL, wink, and so remember this, people. If you are wagering or investing today, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Dave care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consig, We wish everyone a blessed day. Have fun. Cash a few tickets, and we will see you later today.